Good morning. Welcome, and thank you for being here. My name is Mr. Spady, and I'm the principal of Fultonvale Elementary and Junior High. I want to start by recognizing that this is a very difficult day for many people in our community. It's been a year like no other in my lifetime, and I'm sure in most of yours. Add in the tragic event that happened with the Gartner family 1 year ago, and it makes it even harder. But here's what I've learned about the Fultonvale community in the 9 short months that I've been here. It cares, it supports, and it is absolutely there for whoever needs it for whatever reason. This event has been challenging to put together in many ways. One of them being that we have to speak to a live audience while engaging virtually. Add in videos and sound, and it's definitely not the simplest of events. So here's what we have. In person, in our gym, socially distanced and masked, we have students in grade 7, 8, and 9 who wanted to participate. We have pictures of Sarah rolling on our 2 side screens. And prior to us going live, we had music from Sarah's favorite musicals playing in the gym. We also have some staff members present. Thank you for being here. And for those of you in the audience, our mics are very sensitive. So if at all possible, please do your best to limit unnecessary movement. However, if you do need to go for a walk or leave, that is completely acceptable. And if you do have a cell phone in the gym, please turn it off or mute. Online, we have family, parents, guardians, and community members. Welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for being here. At this point, for our virtual audience, we're just going to do a quick pan of the front so you can see what the front of the gym looks like. If the technology works. So you can see we have all the art up there is our Sarah Gartner originals. So we have them on display for everyone. With how the technology works, there is a 20 to 40 second delay to what we are doing in person compared to what you are seeing online. As a result, there will be a few times during the program, particularly after videos, that our virtual audience will have to experience a pause. Hopefully it's not too awkward. We also have lots of support available for students and staff. We have grief counselors in the building who are here to support. The Learning Commons is available as a quiet space if you need it. At any time, if you need to leave, please just make your way to the Library Learning Commons, where we'll have support there if you need it. For those of you online, Strathcona County Family and Community Services offers low or no-cost counseling, navigation, and family supports. Learn more at strathcona.ca/wellbeing or by calling 780-464-4044. As you well know, the school and community were unable to come together last year with COVID restrictions, so we felt it was vital that we did something today, May 4th. I'm so happy that we are able to have students with us in person. The Gartner Memorial is important because it gives students, staff, and community members an opportunity to talk about and recognize emotions. And this helps in the grieving process. At Fultonvale and every school, we are educators, and this event, unfortunately, has caused us to educate about grief, loss, and maybe more importantly, how you come together to support each other. Our goal for this Gartner Memorial is to hopefully give everyone participating an opportunity to remember, to grieve, and to continue to heal. And we hope for the family that we can give you a little bit of peace and as much support as we possibly can. The program will feature some videos submitted by students, staff, community members, and the family. All of the work done, and it was a lot of work, to edit and put the videos together was completed by one of our teachers, Mr. Brzezicki. Thank you. The next part of the program is entitled Remembering. Thank you to those community members who videoed those reflections. I know it wasn't easy. Here's our first video titled Community Reflections.
I'm Iva, and I met the Patterson family many, many years ago, and they took me in as one of their own. And Barb and Lois became my sisters and my family, and they changed the course of my life. I have so many memories, so many great memories. We've been through so much. Lois could rock a pair of high heels like nobody else. She had grace and style. She taught me how to drive a stick shift because I'd already bought the car. And she promised me a burger and a beer if I could just get through the day. So I did, but I think Lois needed the beer more than I did. Or the time that she lent me her shoes, brand new, and I came home with only one shoe. We found it funny later. I kept them on their toes, that's for sure. And then we both settled down and had families, and I was at a swim meet in Edmonton, and Lois brought Owen and Sarah. And Sarah hugged me like she'd known me her whole life and seen me yesterday. And that's a memory that'll stay with me forever. It was so Lois. And Owen, he looked so much like Lois and Lois's dad and Barb's dad. And he's going to do fantastic because he's got Lois in him and the Patterson side. I miss Lois. I miss their whole family. I remember Greg teaching Ryan how to skidoo at their house, and Caitlin looking through their window. I have so many fond memories, and I miss Lois so much. And one day, I'm going to see her again, but I know she's with me. She's with all of us. Love you, Lois.
A while back, I used to work for Coleman Farms, and I was the live-in there, and I got pretty close with Lois and Greg, and I would walk over to their place regularly and babysit Owen and Sarah so that they could have a date night. They were the most well-behaved children I had ever looked after. I was so amazed how, we would play games and hang out and read, and then when it came down to bedtime, it was so incredible. I would offer to read Sarah some stories, and she would always be very adamant and say, nope, I'm going to read you the story. And it was so cool to see because she was so young at that time. I think she was only maybe 6. And yeah, again, the most angelic children I have ever spent time with. And I used to love hanging out at the barn and watching them ride their horse Otis, and it's really tragic that their parents and Sarah is no longer here, but I'll always cherish those amazing memories I have.
Hi, I'm a close family friend, and I'd just like to say thank you to Fultonville for doing this memorial for Sarah and Lois. I know Lois, Sarah, and the kids were a big part of this community and spoke very highly of the school and everyone that's involved there, and the teachers and the parents. My kids don't go there, but we are part of Strathcona County, and I think it's just great that you guys are doing this because there really hasn't been a chance to celebrate them. And we know that we're nearing this year mark, and it's still unfathomable, and we all are trying to just learn to get by. And I think the best that we can do is to continue to celebrate the lessons, the advice, the actions that they taught us. Both Lois and Sarah are extremely giving people, the kindest hearts in the world. I find myself talking to Lois all the time because she gave me amazing guidance, because she was such a smart cookie. I actually think it would be funny that she would think this is funny that I'm doing this from my car, because that's how busy moms are, and we're always in our car running our kids. But I just wanted to say, please keep their spirit and their memory alive. And we will always, always be here for the family, for the kids. And I just want to say thank you again, because we do share the grief all together. And we miss them so much. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ginger, and I had the pleasure of working with Lois at Fultonville on school council and fundraising for many years. I would like to say one thing about Lois. She was generous with her time, her energy, her past experiences, generous financially to our school, generous with that dry, witty personality that made us laugh so hard so many times. We miss all of it, Lois, and we thank you so much. I'd also like to just mention how fit you were. My gosh, hashtag goals still to this day. I didn't know Sarah very well, but I do know that she was being raised by an exceptional woman, and she was going to be an exceptional woman herself. We miss you very much.
May 4th, 2020 shook a lot of people's worlds. I'm trying to think of my dear friend Lois and her beautiful daughter Sarah and commemorate their awesome lives. I think about Lois and how I thought I was the loud one at the games. I was the one who was always trying to cheer on the teams until I met Lois Gartner. And she outdid me. At the hockey games, I couldn't hear myself think. Nope, because all I could hear was Lois screaming at Sarah. Sarah played on my daughter's hockey team, and she outdid me. And for that, I am extremely proud of Lois for that. And I knew when Greg was at the game, because Sarah sure skated her heart out. She moved her butt around that arena, I tell ya. I'd look up in the stands and yep, there was Dad. So I always knew when Greg was there because Sarah really put 110% into her skating. Lois, when we were at the games together here at the school, yes, I'm sitting outside the school doing this video because it just seemed fitting. When we were at the school together, man, that woman was so proud of her kids. We'd end up going to the track and field days together, and I'll never forget one of them where Mr. Hill threw a ball to Owen, and it was a wicked throw, and Owen caught it, and Hill was so impressed, and Lois was just laughing her head off and so proud of her kid for catching that throw. And I'm sure Mr. Hill was going to go get him signed up right away for the CFL. But I tell you, she was so proud of those kids. and I'm sure Greg was too, but I saw Lois here all the time, always celebrating their achievements. And I know that with Sarah's art, her life is going to live on in this school. Owen, we are all so proud of you for what you've endured in your small life, but what you're going to do from now on. You have beautiful parents and an amazing aunt who is going to see you through this, and your grandparents are fantastic people. Your sister is there, Allie. You're a brave woman, and I just can't wait to see what the world does for both of you. Barb, big hugs to you as we remember and rejoice Sarah, the wild and crazy Sarah, who stole bacon off of my husband's lunch when we took her out for brunch one day. And we all just burst out laughing and didn't even know what to say or do about it. We just looked at each other, and Sarah just shrugged it off like it was no big deal. And I'll never forget that day, neither will my kids. And Lois, my friend, I miss her so much. I'm not going to cry. No, I'm not. I do. I miss her immensely. And I do believe I'm up on my time. I've been told it's 2 minutes, so I need to go. But I will hope that you all rejoice and think about these beautiful people in your daily lives, and never forget the Gartners. Thank you.
I've been thinking a lot about what I want to say. And I think what I want to say is goodbye. The things that I would say if I had a chance to say goodbye to Lois. I would say, thank you for teaching me that it's okay to change your mind. Thank you for teaching me that what happens on one day doesn't have to decide who you are every single day after that. Thank you for being a person who wasn't afraid to disagree with me, and for being in the room with me and giving me perspective that helped me to change my mind about things or to see them differently. Thank you for being the person who cared about my kids, and when you asked about them, really meant what you said. And thank you for being the person who was vulnerable about cares you had for your kids too. Thank you for never pretending things were okay when they weren't okay. And thank you for always being willing to come alongside when you saw that there was help needed, and for sharing joys, the joys of travel and the joys of parenting and the joy of being in community together. I learned a lot from you. And we miss you.
Thank you to those community members who submitted those videos. We really appreciate it. The next part of our program is entitled Tribute to Sarah, and it's broken into 2 parts. 2 videos will be shown. The first is reflections from some of our students, and the second is reflections from some of our staff. So our next video, student reflections.
So with Sarah, there was always a lot of memories that were made because she was always like a fun and outgoing, happy person. And this one time we were at some museum in grade 6 and we just walked around all day and took pictures on a bunch of stuff. And then at lunch we went outside and we were just like eating and then we just started playing music and she started dancing. And she was always the one to make everyone laugh and could always take the awkward out of a situation and just make everything fun.
Yeah, that was definitely one of her best traits, and one of my favorite memories of her. Just like showing how kind she is. After my surgery a couple years ago, she had spent the whole day baking a cake for me, and she came to my house after and brought me this cake while I was like still recovering, and it just made me really happy. It was really nice of her, and I miss her a lot.
Yeah, we all miss her.
My family was really close to her, and we always would go over there and hang out with her and their family, and it was really nice because we had so much fun, and I missed the way she laughed and the way she made our family laugh.
Hi, I'm Kristen. I went to school with Sarah for like 6 years. We weren't super close, but we still hung out a few times. My favorite memory of her was when we were at her house, and it had just snowed a few days ago, so there was a whole bunch of powder. And we went out back, and she had these hay bales on the top of the hill, and we tried climbing up on them. I remember we got to the top, and she had pushed me up there, so I was pulling her up, and then I had rolled off and pulled her down with me, and we both got stuck under the snow, and then it was fun. It was a great day. Sounds really weird.
I'm Molly. I went to school with Sarah in grade 3 and then left Fultonville, but we got kind of close because my older brother and her older brother were like friends, I guess. And I remember the last time I came over to her house, she had these Maple Leaf dolls, or she had one, and she's got this big like horse set because she's kind of into horse riding. And I brought over mine, and when you get the Maple Leaf dolls, they come with a hairbrush, and she was constantly brushing her doll's hair, and I like never brushed mine. I'm like, ew, my doll is like so like gross and matted, and the hair is so like just disgusting. It's been under my bed for like the last 5 years. And I'm like, okay, well, Sarah, I just want to cut off my doll's hair. She's like, what? No. And she goes, Lois, like, Mom's going to cut off her doll's hair. And Lois was like, hey, no, we're not going to cut off her hair. We're just going to oil it up. And it didn't even work, and it still sucked. And I was like so mad because her doll's hair is so much nicer than mine.
Okay, so one of my favorite memories with Sarah was when we were at her house and we were playing on the Wii, and we were like bouncing on these like bouncy balls, and then we both fell off and started laughing really hard.
One of my favorite memories of Sarah was when I was at her birthday party, and she had this cake with like, it was art themed, and it had these little fondant circles, like paint swatches on it, and she picked all of them off and ate it with a fork. I remember in French class one day, she was like going on about her cats and nobody was listening to her, so she took a meter stick and stood up on a desk and was like showing us the measurements of how long her cats were.
I remember that too.
And that was really funny. And when we did drama together.
Yeah, and the drama productions were really fun. She was a really good actor.
She always found a way to make everybody like happy around her.
Yeah.
Even if you were sad, she'd find a way to cheer you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also really miss her a lot, and
yeah, we really miss her.
I'd probably say one of my favorite memories with Sarah had been most of them were during swimming, right? And is one thing we would always get to do after swimming is that we would always go in the hot tub together and we could just chill and relax. And we would talk for however long we wanted to. And that one day, we were talking for too long and then we ended up having to rush to get back. And when we got to the dryland training, because we were late, they ended up making us do another lap. And for the entire lap, me and Sarah decided to run it backwards. And it was interesting. It was fun for sure. Another one of my favorite ones had been to is that we were working on a math project together. And it was a triangle one, the Pythagorean theory, and is we had gotten a bunch of chocolates for her, right? And we'd figured everything out. We'd record the project and whatnot. We had meter sticks and we started doing these sword fights, and Sarah would go around hitting everybody with the meter stick. And then we got to eat all the chocolates together, and it was lots of fun, you know. And probably the last one I have is another one with swimming, right? It was one of my first swim meets, and I was always paranoid with stuff. And she took me aside and she just told me something, and it just kind of stuck with me. And she said that no matter how nervous or how scared I am, as long as I know what I'm doing, I got it. And that sometimes that fear and that nervousness and all that can help more than anything, just as long as you know what you're doing and you have everything under control. And then for the rest of the time, she was there with me, always checking up on it and stuff. And yeah, it was lots of fun. We got to hang out for the entire day, playing card games and just kind of relaxing more than anything. And probably one of the best times I've had.
So my favorite memory of Sarah is we'd always be on the same bus together, morning and afternoon, and every afternoon she would make her hands like spiders, and they have special abilities, special powers, and she would do a voice for that specific spider. And she would climb them up my arm, do a little head movement with her finger and do a voice for it, and she'd make one up every day after school when you're on the bus. I was waiting for that spider, and she'd make up a new one and do a different voice, different spider, and it was just, I had a blast every day after school.
My favorite memory of Sarah is when in grade 6, she had this bring your friends to like the swimming thing, and it was really fun. So first we went swimming, but I forgot my swimsuit, right? So we had to go back, and we got to meet her whole family, and it was so nice. That was so nice. And after that, we went to this pizza place, Build Your Own Pizza Place, and it was her favorite pizza place. I remember she told me that. And there was this song that played on the radio on the way to the pizza place, and I forget what it was about, but it was really loud, so loud. So she turned the volume up and just sang it at the top of her lungs. It was really fun.
And another memory that I have of her is she taught me this song, and it's the happy llama, sad llama, mentally disturbed llama. And I sang that to her all the time. Yeah, she was awesome. Yeah. Miss you so much, Sarah, and I love you.
I didn't know Sarah, but she sure sounded like a character. And it's pretty amazing, those memories that you have of her. And I'm very proud of you for sharing those memories. Those are important. Thank you for doing that, students. The second part of the tribute to Sarah, we have some videos from some of our staff who are talking about their memories of Sarah. So we're getting to the second part of Tribute to Sarah with staff reflections.
Sarah and I spent a lot of time eating lunch in the art room. A lot of the time it was just the two of us quietly eating. She could be so reserved and protective of her identity, it was really something magical and special to watch her become animated and energetic when talking about something she was passionate about, or listening to her joke with her friends. Art room lunches, listening to Sarah laugh and joke, talk about their problems, figure out solutions, very rarely take advice, will always hold a special spot in my memories.
My very clear memory of Sarah is when she was in kindergarten. Her kindergarten year, it was the Christmas concert. And the little ones were so shy, and they got on the stage, and we were doing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And as they sang, the audience started giggling and reacting, and the kids became a little bit more bold and confident. They realized that people were listening to them, and you could see Sarah's eyes darting around because there was a microphone, and she could tell that there was a microphone picking up what they were saying, and she was just looking to see where that was. And I wasn't sure that she was going to leave the stage because she was really having quite a time. That was kind of the beginning of her theatrical experience. And then she went on and did lots more with theater and the arts. And I just remember very vividly her kind of blossoming on the stage.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Tammy Keene. I had the great privilege of teaching Sarah in grade 1. She was a strong person. She knew what she liked, she knew what she didn't like, and she was a gifted storyteller. I was also fortunate to be the junior girls volunteer basketball coach, and I was so impressed that she wanted to learn new things, try new things. She may have been trying to follow in her brother's footsteps, but she was not afraid to give things a try, to learn new things. We could all learn from her. Thank you so much. It was a real joy teaching her, and she will be greatly missed.
When I think about Sarah, I often come back to the gym and all the fun we had doing grade 5 phys ed together. She really liked some activities, but not so much other ones. And I would have to get her attention by saying, Sarah! And then she would hear her name and tilt her head to the side. And I'd say, we gotta get going, or I need you to participate, or I need you to join in. And every once in a while she'd do this little awkward off to the side run with her head still tilted, and it looked a little bit like this.
When I think of Sarah, all I can do is smile. Sarah was full of life and joy. She was unapologetically herself, and I loved her for that. I am a better person for having known her. I am grateful that I had the pleasure of teaching her from grade 4 through to the end of grade 7. Sarah, I miss you, but you're with me always.
When I think of Sarah, I always remember her kind, generous heart, her quirkiness, her sense of humor, and just her passion for animals. She had such an amazing ability to express herself through her artwork and her incredible story writing. I could have read her stories for hours. Sarah will be missed, and she has left an incredible void.
Hi, I'd like to share a little bit about Sarah from grade 6. She always had a way of holding her head up really high in her own unique way. I remember once it was lunchtime and I had come back to the classroom early and she was laying on the floor in the corner, and I looked at her and I said, "Are you okay? Are you sick?" And she said, "No, I'm tired today." And I said, "Well, when in elementary have you ever been allowed to come inside unsupervised?" And she just looked at me with her head eye and blinking, and as if I obviously was not able to understand the logic of what she just told me. "But I'm tired today." So she always had this really unique way of looking at things. And anytime I would tell Lois about
any of the little stories about Sarah and the quirky things she did, she would just laugh so hard and she would say, "Yep, I can see that," and constantly would do all this amazing work on things and then leave it at home or in the hallway or on the bus, and we would laugh about it, and Sarah would always make that as a goal to get better at. And the very end on her report card I wrote, "Sarah, you bring thoughtful and unique perspectives to the classroom that we've enjoyed so much." And that is so true.
I was very, very lucky to have Sarah in my class for the first semester in shop. The more I got to know her, the more she talked with her hands, which was great. She made her first project in shop, so I made the grade 8s choose whatever projects they want last year. And I bet you can guess what she did. She made a bee out of blocks of wood, sanded them down, glued them together, clamped them together, and she started painting. And the look on her eye when she was painting, she was focused. Nothing could bother her. She knew exactly what she wanted to do and how it was going to look and how it was going to get designed. She even put a nice smiley face on it, and she knew exactly what she wanted to do. She's a great student. I never had to say, "Hey, Sarah, get to work." She'd tell me to get to work. Second semester, it's co-teaching drama. I saw a completely new side of Sarah that I didn't know. She was so quiet and reserved in the first semester, in my class at least. And then boom, completely different person in the best possible way. She just kept wanted to be out in front every single time. And she would talk like this, and she wanted to do things, and nope, I'll do this, and well, actually I'm going to do this, and I just sat back and watched and smiled. Just smiled.
Sarah's an interesting cat. That's what I have to say about Sarah. I taught her grade 7 social, grade 8 phys ed. In social, she was a go-to. She was a smart cookie. She had an interest in a lot of the stuff we were talking about, from the mundane to the fascinating. She had insights. She was one of our regulars for Hawaiian Shirt Day. I know that wearing this a little bit of honor today in her honor. That was a big thing. She bought into it and she loved it. I admired the way that she kind of carried herself at times. By the grade 8, she knew what she wanted to do, and she kind of went ahead and did it. And her performance in the Christmas Carol, so good. It was that her confidence on the stage, her presence, and everything else. It's carrying. Well, one of the other things that I know is her love of nature, and shortly after, in the spring of last year, I made a pretty strong connection between that love of nature and Sarah, and kind of made a commitment that it's kind of an odd thing, but anytime I see, a bumblebee or to think of bumblebees or whatever, I have this connection to Sarah, and I've actually heard myself saying hi to the bumblebees in her honor. That's one of the things. As long as we have bees, I'll remember Sarah, and she'll be missed.
So I'm going to wear my hat because it's difficult. Most people know me, I'm a little emotional sometimes, but I don't really know what to say. But you try to say some things maybe you've learned or things you taught. You see Sarah in the hallway, and she just carefree, just walked through the hallway, and just, even if she was on her own or with someone else, she just moved. I see purple when I think of Sarah, but that she always had great hair. Coming from a guy like me, I noticed that stuff, right? She always had that awesome side part. That girl didn't know the impact that she had on people, and I think that's the lesson you want to take, right? Sarah didn't. I wish I would have had a better relationship with her, and I guess that's the lesson as a teacher you're going to learn, is that you can always take a lesson from something that, she's changed my life. She's changed my life, and she's probably changed a bunch of other people's lives. You should be kind to people. You know, you never know. You never know what's happening, what's going on in people's lives. And we should all remember each other, and we should all take the time out of our day to tell someone they're doing a good job, to tell someone that they, you know, they've impacted you, or they, you know, just tell them something that's going to brighten their day. Because I think that as teachers, Sarah, you know, I never would have thought that Sarah Gardner would have impacted me the way that it has. But it's made a real difference, and I'll never forget it for my entire life. It's probably not a lot, it's not about you, it's about someone else. And if I can teach that to kids, that's the lesson that I get from her. I see her walking in the hallway right now, standing tall, kind of looking somewhere in a direction, and almost like she's floating. And I think I will remember her for a lot more than that. So that's where I'm going to leave it. God bless her. Right?
Yeah, so I guess talking about my favorite Sarah moment or moments, seeing from grade 7 to grade 8 the build in confidence, and seeing her passion for performing was pretty exceptional, you know. So it would have been pretty incredible to see her progress, because I know from like grade 7 to grade 8 there was a massive jump. She found her confidence, her voice on stage, and I think the confidence part and the voice is probably, you know, one of the most special things about her. She was who she was, and she was okay with it, which is pretty amazing at this age in particular. I mean, some people kind of struggle with that their whole lives. And, you know, just seeing her passion for musical theater, and her desire to, you know, to pursue that. Yeah, she's a very special person, and she's very missed.
All right. Oh, Sarah, it was a pleasure to have had the opportunity to teach you all those years ago. I always loved how you had such a good sense of humor, and you were always witty. You were always sharp on it to give you the back of that one-liner. You knew who you were, and you didn't care what other people thought. And I think that if more people would be like that, then the world would be a better place. You're going to be missed, Sarah. You're a true inspiration for people, because you were just yourself and you didn't care. You didn't care what other people thought. You'll be missed.
Everyone loved her. When things like this happen, you reflect on the times you got to know the person and spend with that person. I'm very happy for the time I got to spend with her. More and more I learn about her now is her love of bees, or tremendous artwork, quotes from Hamilton. She made everyone around her better. Not many people can say that. Not many people can do that, even when they try. It was effortless for her. Effortless. We'll miss her.
Unapologetic. Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. There we go. Unapologetically herself. Impact on people. Kind. Take time out of your day. Know who you are. And made everyone around her better. Some pretty amazing lessons and things for all of us to take from Sarah. Thank you to staff for sharing those memories. I know that wasn't easy and continues not to be easy, so thank you. We're going to move to the next part of our program. And the next part of our program is the unveiling of the Sarah Gartner Award. I'm going to ask 3 grade 9 students, Emily Berzicki, Hayden Liszczowski, and Amy Suddaby to come up for this part of the program.
Good morning. The Gartner Memorial Committee, who's worked together from January until May 2021, was formed with the purpose of working together to plan a memorial event that will take place on May 4th, 2021. The committee was made up of the willing students, including Emily Berzicki, Mackenzie Galbraith, Hayden Liszczowski, Sarah McDonald, Phoenix Munsterman, Ella Oak, Amy Suddaby, and Scarlett Ward. Some parent volunteers include Becky Galbraith and Krista Scott, as well as some of the staff, including Mr. Berzicki and Mr. Spady. One of the committee's goals was to create a lasting memory, hence the Sarah Gartner Character Award. The award was designed using feedback from the committee and includes an original piece of Sarah's artwork. The calligraphy was created and completed by grade 9 student Amy Suddaby.
The student who will receive this award encompasses the majority of Sarah's traits and characteristics. Sarah was generous with her time, constantly putting the needs of others before herself. She was very loving and accepting of everyone and everything. She was passionate about what she cared for, and when she did something, she did it with 100% effort and was always optimistic about difficult situations. Sarah stood by her values and was open about respectfully sharing her opinions. Sarah was a leader, and she participated in many types of school activities, including drama, badminton, art, and she took part in many student groups as well. These are just some of the qualities that she portrayed and what the award winner will demonstrate.
We will be unveiling the plaque today. However, it will not be presented to a student until awards night. The Sarah Gartner Character Award will be given annually to a grade 9 student. The award is being presented to ensure the memory of Sarah and what she brought to the school will live on. Students will be nominated and chosen by staff, and Sarah's family will be invited to present the award on an annual basis. Hayden and Amy, let's unveil the award.
Thank you, Emily, Hayden, and Amy for doing that. Brings us to the close of our program, but the close may take a little bit of time. It's not going to be overly quick. Originally, we were planning on doing some kind of nature release at the farewell because of Sarah's love of nature. However, due to the timing of May 4th, we're delaying that until the grade 9 farewell. Thank you to Mackenzie and Mrs. Galbraith for raising those butterflies, and we'll be doing a butterfly release at the grade 9 farewell. I'm amazed by the number of things we learned together today. Fulton Vale is a school. It's about education. That's what we do. We teach. Teach about math, English, social science, physical education, shop, foods, art, drama. We do this because we love what we do, and we are passionate about helping kids learn. Sometimes, like today, we teach about life, how to be a good friend, how to deal with conflict, how to support each other through tough times, and what it means to be a community. Today, we came together as a community to grieve, to remember, and maybe most importantly, to support each other. A lot of people to thank, so if I missed you, my apologies in advance. Thank you to Ms. Munsterman, Mr. Carrasco, and Mr. Thomas for helping and for running all the technology behind the scenes. We're having mic problems here for all of our virtual audience. I'll just speak louder. How does that sound? Thank you to Ms. Engel for the decorations. Thank you to Ms. Engel for the decorations and flowers and for helping to set up the gym. Thank you to Mrs. Lenning and Mr. Weaver for helping set the gym up. Thank you to Mr. Hill and the Leadership 9 class for painting our windows. If you get a chance to our virtual audience to drive by the school in the next week, please do so. These students put their heart and soul into painting Sarah's name on our windows facing the parking lot. It looks incredible. Thank you. Thank you to Mr. Brzezicki for spending a crazy amount of time putting together all the videos. We will be posting the entire event on our YouTube channel when it is ready, hopefully by early next week. Thank you to all of the community members for sending videos in and for being with us today. Thank you to the Gartner Memorial Committee members. I'm going to ask the students to please join me up at the front. Emily Brzezicki, Mackenzie Galbraith, Hayden Liszczowski, Sarah McDonald, Phoenix Munsterman, Ella Oak, Amy Suddaby, and Scarlett Ward. Mr. Brzezicki wants a picture. Your ball. Stay here. Thank you to our parent volunteers who are part of the committee, Becky Galbraith and Krista Scott, and to Mr. Brzezicki for being part of this committee as well. The committee started meeting at the end of January, and we sat down once every 6 school days to put together this event. These students were incredible. Not only did they actively participate in a committee that was putting together an event to honor a deceased classmate, they were also the drive behind much of what you saw and heard today. I'm so proud of them because this was the hardest committee that they could possibly have been on. So to the committee members, thank you for all of your work. We really appreciate it. Thank you to Ms. Peterson and Ms. Middleton, our mental health capacity builders, who are monitoring the break room in case a student needs a quiet place to be. Thank you to our Elk Island Public Schools grief counselors, Mr. Reed and Ms. Molson, for being here today. And thank you to Ms. Rusnell for looking out for our kids. A reminder to our students and staff, both in person and online, please reach out if you need support. Thank you to the entire Fulton Vale staff, who were incredibly supportive of this event. Thank you for submitting videos, and mostly, thank you for looking out for every single student every single day. A reminder to our online audience, Strathcona County Family and Community Services offers low or no cost counseling, navigation, and family supports. I know I said this once, but this is important so we all know where to go if we need help. Learn more at strathcona.ca/wellbeing or by calling 780-464-4044. But the biggest thank you goes to the family. Thank you for giving your backing of this memorial. Our thoughts, our support, and our heart is with you. We have one final video sent by the family. Following the video, just a few more words to share. So the family thank you video.
On behalf of the Gartner family, we'd like to thank Fultonville School, all its great teachers, its students, and the parents of the students for all their part in having this memorial put together and to have presented for us. We are certainly most appreciative.
There's no question that we miss our family every day, every moment. You know, the support and kindness that we've received from our friends and family and this community and everything has just been unbelievable. And I want to thank the Memorial Committee for all the work they did to put this together, because it's been really good for us to have this happen. So thanks, everybody.
Yes, thank you doesn't seem to be enough. Also, I know that the office staff was very instrumental in everything that was organized. And I'd like to say thank you to Katie and to Wendy. So anyway, it's just, whatever you did, it's just wonderful. Thank you very much.
Big love.
Yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We miss our trio, so we appreciate you celebrating her in this way.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Immediately following the virtual memorial, there is a virtual tea being put on by Krista Scott, and the links were sent out in our Firewire and shared on the Facebook page. Students, you are more than welcome to remain for a little while. We do have some snacks over there. If you want to hang around a little bit and chat, you are more than welcome to. In closing, I want to say this. It's very important today, and although we are a school, and I want to ask all of you to do just one thing today, not just those in the audience, but also those online with us right now. I want to reach out to one person who maybe you haven't reached out to in a little while. I want you to say to them, hey, how are you doing? Are you doing okay? Because at the end of this, it's the connection between all of us that's very, very important through these tough times. For our community members at home, I want you to do the same. Maybe it's someone you haven't chatted with in about a week or a month, whatever it is. If you send a text, a quick phone call, but let's make sure we're checking in with each other today and the rest of this week, the rest of this year. Thank you for your time. Thank you to our live audience, and thank you to our virtual audience. Thank you to everyone behind the scenes. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.